Hello everyone. So yesterday we were blessed with the trailer of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. But in that trailer, there's a lot more than meets the eye. So for this video, I will be walking you all through the trailer step by step, and we will be analyzing every single scene and every single thing that it's showing us. And I will be pointing out a few things that I saw and a few theories on my own as to what is happening. So buckle up and let's get right into the video. It starts off on a very grim note, with Tifa, Red 13, Barrett and Aerith gravely injured and possibly even dead after a tornado hits Midgar. So for this scene, I have come up with 3 possible scenarios that I think are the answer to what is happening here. The first one is a Shinra scenario. And basically, this is all Shinra's doing. They are fabricating these news in order to isolate the heroes from the entire world. They are killing them all for the entire world. Because think about it, if you're pronounced dead for the entire world, how will people react seeing you running around and alive? They will immediately alert authorities, or they will at least be very suspicious of you, and they won't want to help you because they do not know who you are or why you are. The second scenario is the Sephiroth scenario. And basically, this is all Sephiroth's doing. This theory heavily relies on the fact that we see a Sephiroth feather descending on screen right after the scene plays out. And I was thinking to myself, why would Sephiroth do this? And I came to the conclusion that it's the exact same reason as Shinra. He's trying to mess with the heroes. And like I said, killing them off for the entire world would really maybe screw up their plans, so that was the theory I came up with. The third theory is the Zack theory. And basically this means this is happening on Zack's timeline. This is not the main timeline that we played on Remake. This is Zack's timeline that has been altered by the fact that our main party destroyed the plot ghost, and that made Zack live. And if you don't know, at the end of the game, there is this tornado type of thing, and that is a tornado that hit the second timeline where Zack is. This theory can be further justified and enforced with the ending of Intermission. If any of you have played Intermission, you know that at the end, Zack goes to Aerith's church looking for her, and he doesn't find her. He finds a bunch of people crying, and at first I thought, when I first played the game, I thought, oh, those are just the survivors of the plate fall. They're crying because a plate fell. But now that we have this information, those are not the survivors of the plate. Those are the survivors of the tornado. Personally, out of all these theories, I think the third one is the most liable, but let me know what you guys think. Okay, so now I'd like to talk about Tifa's and Aerith's conversation on the trailer. As you saw in this conversation, we see that Tifa is asking Aerith, what has Cloud been doing? And Aerith asked her, why are you asking me this? But Tifa keeps insisting, and this is very interesting, and a lot of people may think that it's a little bit out of nowhere, but it's not. We see in the remake that Tifa already suspects that Aerith knows more than she's leading on. One of the examples is, for example, on chapter 10, the sewers, when Tifa's talking about how she's worried about the platefall, and Aerith says, yeah, I know you're worried. But she looks down, sort of in a guilty way, and Aerith asks, and Tifa asks her, what are you not telling me? And Aerith is like, huh? Like she's been caught. So to me, this is not out of nowhere. It makes perfect sense that Tifa is kind of asking Aerith, trying to find out what else Aerith knows to see everything. It's so fun. Another thought I had is that this could be a continuation of Choices of Two Paths. In that book, we see that Tifa and Aerith grow close quickly, and they trust each other with things they had never said to anything else. So it does make sense that if Tifa were to talk about this to anyone, it would be to Aerith, because she trusts her. Another thing that really stuck with me was actually the conversation itself. I don't know how many of you played the original, but Tifa has these doubts, but she never, ever talks about it. She never vocalizes her worries. So this already is a difference that I'm really glad I'm seeing. So I think here the answer is a mixture of everything I said. Tifa really trusts Aerith, but she wants to know what Aerith is hiding from her. and it's better for Tifa's character. They are developing every single character further, and I love that. I'm here for it. So seeing it actually unveil before my eyes is really nice. Okay, but now let's talk about something a little more lighthearted. Chocobos. We got to see them riding chocobos. If you guys know me, you know that I absolutely love chocobos. Whenever I play a Final Fantasy game, I just want to know, where's a chocobo? Can I get a chocobo? Can I name the chocobo? Can I color the chocobo? And all of those things, which is one of the few things I liked about Final Fantasy XV. Okay, but on the trailer, we got to see the chocobo farm from Chocoboville, and this is actually very exciting because, as you know, at the end of intermission, we got to see a sneak peek of Chocobo Bill and his chocobo. So I'm really happy that they showed us more. Actually, really happy they showed us the stable, where we will be breeding chocobos until we get golden one. Okay, but moving on. In the trailer, we see the party riding the chocobos, and there are a few things I like to point out. Okay, so the first one is, where is Red 13? And why isn't he riding a chocobo? I've come up with a solution, I think. So the answer is quite simple, at least for me. Red 13 is an animal. And I'm thinking he runs just as fast as a chocobo. So to him, it wouldn't make sense for him to ride a chocobo if he can just run just as fast. So we didn't see this in the trailer, but I'm going on a limb, and I'm gonna say that Red 13 is just gonna run alongside those chocobos. Personally, I would have loved to see Red 13 riding a chocobo. I honestly hope that's an option, so fingers crossed. And secondly, I want to touch up on the commands we see on the bottom left corner when the party is riding the chocobos. Now, two of these really stuck with me, which was Scent and Scour, which led me to the conclusion of Chocobo Hunt. Think Final Fantasy IX. So I'm guessing we're gonna have a bunch of new quests that can only be done with the chocobo, because the chocobo has to smell something and he has to dig. And again, Final Fantasy IX, if you will. So I think that'll be very, very fun, actually. It's actually really interesting they added that. And that's also going to tie in with the type of chocobos. They're not just going to be used as means of transportation. They're going to be used as means of completing specific side quests. And thirdly, there's a scene where we see Cloud and Red 13 running along Gaia. And in the bottom left corner, we see a command that's like, it's R1 called Chocobo. So this leads me to believe that you can call Chocobo whenever you want, which is in line with the original. So nothing new there. It's just a nice detail that I thought I'd point out. Oh wait, I remember something else. We don't see Yuffie riding a Chocobo. Nor do we see Red 13, but I did touch up on that, but I do have another theory as to why those two are missing. I'm just thinking that maybe Yuffie and Red 13 are off on another mission, and that could be why they're not riding the chocobos. It's a simple explanation, but I do feel like it's the more correct one. Now, let's talk about Bugenhagen. Bugenhagen and his observatory are literally beautiful, amazing. I remember when I played the original, even though the graphics, but I was like blown away with the sequence where you're in his observatory and everything's moving and he's explaining everything. It was beautiful. I cannot wait to see it in glorious 4K. Now, two things. If any of you play the original, you know that when you go to the observatory and you get that sequence, you do get to choose 2 other people to go with you besides Cloud. However, in Rebirth, that's CGI, and that can only mean one of 2 things. First, the people that go with you are Tifa and Aerith, pronto, done, you cannot choose anyone else. Or, everyone is there, but they're just kind of off screen. They're there, but they only showed a little scene that had Cloud, Tifa, and Aerith, but everyone's there. I'm inclined to believe that everyone's there, just because I thought it would be nice to have Red 13 listen to his grandfather talking about all of this and see all of his knowledge. So I am hoping everyone's there. And now we have the voice cameo that just like out of nowhere showed up when the characters were running. I'll be honest. At first I was like, Vincent? Then I heard it a little bit more, and that's Rufus. It sounds like Rufus. As much as I would love for it to be Vincent, it's not going to be like that. Vincent is going to be like Tifa. They're going to hold off showing him until really late until it's really close to the release date. So yeah, do not expect to see Vincent anytime soon. So now it's time for the Kalm scene, which I think it's in the very beginning of the game, and if it's not, it's early in the game. It has to be. So in this scene, while everyone is paying really close attention to everything Cloud's saying, if you focus on Tifa, you'll see that she's looking down. She looks worried. And this is because she is doubting Cloud. Her memory of Nibelheim does not match with his memory of Nibelheim. So she's very confused at what he's saying, but while she physically looks confused and sad, she doesn't tell this to Cloud. She doesn't confront him. Instead, she asks him about Sephiroth. And some of you may be wondering, why would she do that? Why didn't she just confront him? Because even though Tifa thinks Cloud was never there, he has knowledge that he could only have if he was there. So Tifa is pretty much split on what to do. On the one hand, she wants to know the truth, but on the other, she's afraid of what might happen to Cloud if he confronts him about it. And this has been emphasized on Remake. Tifa tells Cloud that he has changed. She also was very confused when Cloud said it's been 5 years when it has been 7 for her. She also witnesses Cloud's very severe headache, and she just knows something's wrong. So add up all of these things into Tifa's internal turmoil, and you can see why she's worried of what could happen to Cloud if she has to confront him. She's afraid he'll break. And let's be honest, he might. So that's why she chooses not to confront him. But let me know what you think about this. Okay, so now we move to the Mytril Caves, where we have a surprise! A boss fight! A really cool one, might I add. That monster is made of pure materia. That thing's strong. In this specific section, it's actually very interesting because you only have Red 13 and Barrett, and this made me think of a couple of things. So the first justification I found was that maybe this is a side quest specifically for these two characters so that the player can learn how to play each one individually and can learn how to make them work together for a better result, aka synergy. Another thought I had was that maybe this was part of the main story and it's a separate scenario. Think of Final Fantasy XV when you get to choose whether to follow Noctis or Gladius and Ignis. That's what I'm talking about. Maybe you get to choose to go with Cloud, Tifa, and Aerith, or you can choose to go with Red 13 and Barrett. And that's why they have this boss fight. In this case, I think both options are viable. I don't really have a favorite, so we'll see. But it is exciting because this is where we get a glimpse at Red 13's combat. And it looks really good. He fights exactly as I thought he would. Like a dog. We also get to see what his triangle special is called. It's called Vengeance Mode. I do wonder where it is because it didn't show us. So yeah, maybe it'll show us later. I really hope they do that. But as for now, we are free to speculate. And now we get introduced to a new character, Helena. She looks good, not much to say, but the difference here is where you meet her. If my memory isn't failing me, in the original you meet Helena in the Mytril Caves, which kind of backs up my theory that you get to choose which party you follow. Original Mytril Caves, Rebirth, I could not identify this location. And then we get a little bit of a sneak peek to Helena's fighting style. She does look like a brawler, a la Rude, but she only had like 2-3 moves, so I'm not gonna do any assumptions here. Maybe I don't know. She does look like a brawler, but maybe she's not. Also, I've seen a lot of takes online about the scene where Cloud and Tifa are back to back and then Aerith launches the magic bolt to Helena. And a lot of people are saying that that's a synergy attack. I disagree. A lot. That's not a synergy attack. That is a transition scene between the first phase and the second phase of a boss. It's really cool, but it's not synergy, unfortunately. I did write a side note where I wrote Red 13 playing in the water. It's the cutest thing ever. So, I mean, it is. It's cute. He's interacting with the environment. Isn't that what we all want? Okay, so now we get down to business. It's time for battle. So now that we are finally being shown the characters fighting, I do have some things I'd like to point out. First, Cloud's strong attack has changed. It is completely different from what it was in Remake, okay? Here is Cloud's strong attack on Remake, and here is Cloud's strong attack on Rebirth. See? Completely different. And this actually touches up on something that I was really hoping they did, and I'm glad they did, and that is that the characters have gone through a little bit of an overhaul in their fighting styles, and I'm pretty sure they did this so that they wouldn't fall flat next to the new ones. Because let's face it, even after Yuffie, a lot of the other characters, we were like, okay, what else can you do? And now we know there's much else they can do. So that's exciting. So this now is a very cool thing that I noticed. I don't know if you guys noticed, but here I am pointing it out to you. So here's the screenshot, okay? We can see on the bottom right corner that the party consists of Red, Barret, and Cloud. But look into the horizon. Can you see that? That's Aerith and that's Tifa on their fighting stances. Even though they're not in the party, they're there. And I've come up with 2 theories as to why this is. 1, it could be that there will be an active party of 3 characters, and that the characters that weren't chosen will still be present in battle. However, they will only be able to do basic attacks and you cannot give them commands. They'll be a passive party, if you will, too. They're there because you can tag team a la Final Fantasy X. And this fits another theory of mine. In the bottom right corner, right there are these new little bars of blue that weren't there in the original. So I come up with another theory as to what those represent. Those little bars represent the number of times the character can be switched to and from any given battle. So if you switch Red 13 with, let's say, Tifa, he loses 1 bar. And so does Tifa, she also loses 1 bar. Then you switch, I don't know, Barret with Red 13. Red 13 loses another bar, and Barret loses yet another bar. And that's how they're gonna balance out the tag teaming of Rebirth. I mean, this is just an idea, this is speculation. Could be. I could be right, but I could be wrong. So let me know what you think those are. Personally, I'm fine with either option, but I still hope to God it's the second one. But now, we get to see what everyone has been hoping for ever since Intermission came out. Synergy attacks! Wait, actually people have been waiting for this ever since one of the trailers came out, and it looked like Tifa was bouncing off a cloud sword, and then that didn't happen, but before we really get onto the synergy attacks, they were amazing, but other things got my attention as I was looking at them. So for Aerith and Tifa's, first of all, that little shield Aerith made, and she's shooting down lightnings of magic, and Tifa's just punching the hell out of the enemy. I feel bad for whoever's suffering that, but it looks so cool. Secondly, if you pause now, you can see that both girls are using their standard weapons, and based on their HP as well, you can assume that this is pretty early in game. This also confirms that nothing will carry over. You will lose all the weapons you got except for your standard weapons. So think about it. So every character will lose every single skill they had apart from the default ones they had. So Cloud will still have Braver and Focus Thrust. Barret will still have Focused Shot and Steel Skin. Aerith will still have Soul Droid and Arcane Ward. And Tifa will still have Unbridled Strength and Dive Kick. The exception will be Yuffie, because when we get Yuffie, she has 3 skills. She has Art of War, she has Windstorm, and she has Elemental Ninjutsu. So Yuffie will be the exception, where she'll have 3 skills, while the other team only has 2 skills. Another thing that caught my eye was Aerith Triangle Special. The name changed. It used to be Tempest, now it's Word Shift. This could mean one of 2 things. 1, they changed the skill. 2, they changed the name. I guess maybe they'll show it in a later trailer we'll get some clarification. But personally, I don't think they would just change the name of the skill and keep it the exact same. I'm pretty sure they changed the skill, so I'm curious to see what Ward Shift is. Also, there's the High Wind. We probably won't get to pilot it. That's only part 3. Still very cool. Okay, so now we also get to see Yuffie's and Red 13's synergy attack. First of all, wow, she sits on top of him and then they just like whack the enemy. Again, I feel sorry for the poor bastard that has to endure that. But that wasn't what caught my attention. They changed Yuffie's outfit. Like, I know they said they made some adjustments to Yuffie, but like I wasn't expecting for it to be like really up in your face. I felt like they just buttoned up her shorts, and they did. But they also gave her a pouch, a leg pouch. It was really nice. I think that's a really nice touch for Yuffie, you know, because she's a ninja. She steals stuff, she needs to put them somewhere, so I like the fact that they gave her a leg pouch so that, oh, she puts them there, it's fine. They also changed her arm thing. It's different. And I can only assume they did that because maybe it was interfering with some assets. Maybe it went through some other character's head. So it looked like they made it smaller and more compact. For reference, here's a picture of Yuffie in Intergrade, and this is a picture of Yuffie on Rebirth.
And one last thing I noticed on the synergy attack, this was only on the Tifa and Aerith synergy attack. So on that move, Aerith is the character you're controlling. She calls Tifa. And in the party, you see there's Aerith, Tifa, and Cloud. So they do the synergy attack, and the moment they finish it, Tifa and Cloud gain a little golden bar next to their limits. Now, I've been trying to brainstorm what this could be, and the only thing I could think of is this is a little extra damage for the limit break, or it's something that helps the limit break build faster. Either way, it seems like a mechanic that encourages you to use teamwork in the synergy attacks. Since it only appeared once, I don't have any more information on it, and I couldn't really brainstorm what it was. But it is interesting because you do see it again with Yuffie and Red 13. So that is really interesting. I do wonder what it is. So if you guys have any theories on it, please let me know.
Another thing I like to point out is that we saw a brand new symbol on the map. It's orange. And we know that main quests are blue, side quests are green, and discoveries are purple. So I think this new orange symbol goes with my theory that chocobos are going to be for treasure hunts. And that symbol is a chocobo treasure hunt symbol. We'll see. And now it's time to talk about the end of the trailer. Pretty sick, right? But still, first I'd like to talk about Yuffie's reaction to that whole scene. So in that scene, we see a cloud of purple matter, and Yuffie just immediately runs off. She's terrified of the thing. And this is very important because Yuffie didn't run off because of Sephiroth. She never got to see him. She ran off because of the purple, the color purple, and the shape of the thing. And this is directly linked to the final battle of her DLC with Nero. That's why she's terrified of it. It looks like him. And the last time Yuffie saw Nero, he murdered Sonon in cold blood, traumatizing her. So in that moment, when she saw that purple material cloud, all those memories just rushed back into her, and her instinct was to just run away. She does not want to go through that again. She's absolutely terrified. And that is absolutely brilliant. I love that they're doing this. I feel sorry for Yuffie, please don't get me wrong. But I absolutely love that they're going this continuity thing. It makes sense to Yuffie to be terrified of that because of what she went through. Okay, so now let's get into Sephiroth. So when Sephiroth makes his glorious appearance out of Purple Cloud, he keeps telling our heroes, which are... In that battle, we have Barret, Tifa, and Cloud. Which, by the way, another reason for Yuffie to run off, you cannot have a party with 4 people. But moving on. Sephiroth started saying how Genova, aka the monster, can look into a person's memories and turn into what they most fear and what they most love. And then he goes on saying that he killed Tifa in Nibelheim. And before anyone starts saying that he's talking about Aerith, go watch the Japanese trailer, okay? He says her name. He says her name! Moving on. So he says he killed Tifa in Nibelheim, and then he asks, so who is she? And this is everything. This makes so much sense, and it's amazing. And I'm going to explain to you why. He said this to basically gaslight Cloud, because if you remember in the first look trailer, Cloud says, I saw you lying there and I figured it was too late. Tifa turns and says, are you calling me an imposter? You're saying that I die? And Sephiroth is playing directly into this. He says to Cloud, I killed her. Who the hell is that? He's trying to break the bond that Cloud and Tifa have. He's trying to break the confidence Cloud has in Tifa and vice versa. And why? Because he knows what happened in the original. He knows that Tifa can heal Cloud. She knows the real Cloud. Cloud trusts her, and that's why she's able to heal him. But what if Cloud doesn't trust her? What if Cloud thinks the Tifa he's seeing is not the real Tifa, but it's Genova taking Tifa's form? It's genius. It's absolutely genius. Another thing I'd like to point out, and I don't know if you will agree with me on this, but when Tifa says, you killed my dad, you burned my village, and she goes to attack him, that's not past Tifa talking, that's present Tifa. And the biggest clue of this is that when they zoom in on past Tifa's face, she's not talking, she's yelling. She's going, ow, with the Masamune sword, Sephiroth sword at him. So what I'm thinking is happening here is present Tifa is confronting Sephiroth because they will meet Sephiroth, I'm guessing, several times during this game. And Tifa at some point is going to confront him. He's like, you took everything from me. And I think that's going to be pretty sick. Cannot wait to see it. Another detail that made me happy was blood. I was not happy that he got Tifa, but I was happy that we did not get ghost dust floating out of home, because believe me, I would have been pissed. It's nice to know that when a character gets... Okay. So it is nice to know that they're stopping their use of ghost particles when someone gets hurt, because they use that in Crisis Core Unit, and I'm telling you, I was not happy with that. Also, Tifa's cowgirl outfit has been updated. They made it so that it looks more like the Crisis Core one, and I do think that was a good move on them. Also made her look a little younger, which is nice, because in Remake, when you see the flashback of Tifa hovering over her corpse of her dad, it looks exactly the way she looks when she's 21 years old when she was 16, and that just doesn't happen. Now the last part of the good news. 2 discs. God damn it. How big is this game? I mean, I'm here for it. Bring it on. I don't care. I'll buy another PlayStation 5 if I have to. But yeah. So now onto some sad news. Unfortunately, there will be no all-girl superpower team, because at every single instance in this trailer, we have seen that Cloud has to be in the party at all times. Now, this coincides perfectly with the original. You could never have Cloud out of your party. But I was hoping that at some points of the game, sure, you have to have Cloud in your party because he needs to be there to move along the story. But I was hoping that in other instances, we could completely customize our party, because we're going to have so many characters to choose from that I would love to completely pick my team to progress through the story, not only on the battle simulator. Come on. But yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. The only time that will happen will be maybe on character specific side quests, like the one I mentioned with Barrett in Red 13, but I guess we'll see. Yeah. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. And please let me know what you thought about in the comments. Did you catch something else that I didn't? Do you want to add on anything I said? Please feel free. With that being said, I will see you all in the next one. Bye!